Hey guys, what is up? It is your friendly neighbor Dubicus here. I'm going to do another pubcast, again, of a game that I played, and this one is a pretty crazy game. Right, I should change my settings. It seems like a thing I should do. Where is that now? Options, here. That, and just bump it down. Alright, hopefully that'll be good. So this was the Captain's Mode game. This was ranked. This was the second game in a 3-game win streak that actually knocked me right over the 4K threshold. So I'm now 4K. That means I'm not awful or something. I don't know. Fuck. Doesn't mean anything. It's MMR. Anyway, this was a crazy, crazy game, and I'm playing Dazzle support in this game, which is a hero that I've been playing quite a bit of. He's a really fun, really strong hero. He has a lot of potential at all points in the game. Pretty much no matter what. He's just like super strong. I should probably speed this up, shouldn't I? So, we're just going to go really fast. There's not too much to talk about because obviously the draft already happened. But, this was a pretty cool game. This was after a game, the first game in the 3-game win streak was actually the most funny game that I've ever played. I was playing with a random person who watches my stream. He just like randomly ended up in the queue. As well as 2 people who were Canadian, and then this Solit guy was drafting in that game as well. And it was a really enjoyable game. We were just all talking on mic. It was actually super funny, super fun. And who was I playing in that game? I was playing Benomancer, that's right. Okay. So this game, I guess I'll talk about the draft now that we're basically near the end. We'll slow it down to normal speed and talk about the draft. So, we got Dazzle, you know, right out of the gates. Dazzle's really strong, definitely worth grabbing. Enemy team went with Mirana Visage, which is good. It's definitely very strong. As long as you have a Visage player, that definitely is worthwhile, because Visage is a super strong hero. And the thing is, their tri-lane is super, super strong. Mirana Visage +1 is a very strong tri-lane. If the +1 has set up stun, especially. So then we go with a Rasta. Rasta is another really strong support. I think we were planning on going AA, but then he decided to get a Rasta. I'm not sure why, but in the end, Rasta did end up being better than AA. And then in the second phase, we got Centaur and PA. Centaur because it made it to second phase somehow, and that here's actually bonkers. And then PA, we needed a carry, but we didn't want a hard carry. We wanted like a tri-lane carry, if that makes sense. And Mirana was already picked, so our options were fairly limited. PA is not the best tri-lane carry, but she's definitely strong enough, considering she can get farm even if we're losing tri-lane, just by using Dagger. Assuming the enemy team is not coordinated enough to all 3 hit the creep simultaneously before the dagger hits it or something. Obviously that could happen, but it didn't too much, at least.
5 seconds remaining.
And then the enemy team goes Rubik Razor, and we're like, okay, so they're going to go Razor mid, tri-lane Mirana aggressive, and then this last pick will be their solo safe or something along those lines, which is actually insanely strong. So we're trying to think of a mid, and our captain was like OD or Ember, and I'm like, no, just no. Neither of those is good at all. And then we threw a lot of other options out there, and we decided because we have a Rasta, and the enemy team is just super, super strong. Like their lineup is way stronger than ours, but because we have Rasta, we might just want to go with some amount of a push strat. So we ended up grabbing a Pugna as our 5th pick here, and
Reserve time.
that ends up being our mid. And we'll see that happen. And then the enemy team throws us a ridiculous curveball for their 5th pick, and our lanes get all types of weird. So we'll see when that happens. But in most situations, I'd say that we should have probably picked like Storm or Puck. But Pugna ended up being okay. And then the enemy team definitely should have gone with what I initially said,
Remaining.
but you're going to see how their lanes are just awful. The enemy team did kind of win some lanes, and you'll see that obviously as the game goes on, but they could have won them even harder and probably snowballed that into a ridiculous advantage, but you'll see. You'll see what happens. This was probably the hardest game of Dota I've ever played in my life.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't want to spoil it. I really don't. I forgot. I thought that they picked it like immediately. I guess I was alt-tabbed and I didn't pay attention to how fast they picked it.
Reserve time.
Come on! Come on! Yeah, so they should right now just pick a solo safe laner. Or even a better tri-lane hero to go with Visage and Rubik, and then put Mirana solo safe. That's what, in my opinion, would be good, but they didn't. They didn't do that. They went crazy off the wall. My god, did they actually go like to the... Okay, there it is. Undying. So, now we're like, okay. So I guess they Mirana, Visage, Undying, try lane. And then have really weird lanes for the other two. Yeah, this basically threw us a weird curveball. None of us were expecting this at all. But we make do. We make do. Alright. So, as we can see, we've got me playing on Dazzle. We have Thomas the Gank Engine playing PA.
Prepare.
Is Just Game playing Rasta, or Shadow Shaman. Wolf of Winter playing our Pugna mid. And Solit playing the Centaur Warrunner solo offlane. Then we have Jeef Berkey, god that really threw me off, playing Visage. The Furious Furion playing Rubik. Noah Min playing Razor. Sheker playing Mirana. And Jason playing Undying. It looks like they were also confused about their lanes. Huh. This is interesting to see. So, I'll spoil it a bit. So, what they end up doing is Mirana solo safe, Razor plus the other two for offlane, aggressive try, and then Rubik mid. And that's really bad. So, if this Razor was mid, and even if they just put Rubik in this bot lane, they have much better lanes. But what they really should have done is not picked 3 supports. Rubik mid is fine. He gets farm, he gets XP, he'll get a Blink Dagger fast, he'll be able to steal spells early, it'll be great, except for the fact that he doesn't do anything with farm past like Blink Dagger. Sure, Ags is okay, you can get an Ags on this hero and it's fine. Against our team it's mediocre at best. Like, you can do stuff with farm, but the issue is, the reason that mid lane exists in the way that it does is because, well, the metagame is very much like the guy who goes mid plays, he plays that role to get levels and farm, and Rubik, he does need levels to an extent, but then they're kind of wasted, and he does need farm to an extent, but then it's kind of wasted. Rubik's in a weird spot where, oh yeah, so this guy just gets caught out really hard, and then I'm coming in with a DD, Poison Touch, and I just try to go for the Visage. Visage because he has 0 armor, and I know I can get the kill for sure. And the issue is, I went with... Yeah, and then the Decay got me. So I went with Poison Touch first, because I didn't think I'd be able to get the kill without it. In hindsight, I might have been able to, but I'm actually unsure. But that kind of sets the tone for this lane, the 1-for-1 trade. Mid lane, Pugna and Rubik are trading spells for no reason. Oh my god. And then top lane, Centaur should be fine. Centaur 100% wins this lane. Or at the very least, just they trade farm. Like, there's no reason Centaur should ever not be able to get farm in this lane or XP or anything like that. I don't know, he's playing really scared for some reason. It's just a Mirana, bud. You went Stout and Ring. I don't know. So, yeah, as you can see, their lane is super strong. Obviously, it'd be stronger with somebody other than Razor, and Razor could actually get XP as well. But it ends up being okay. and PA goes stout first. So I got these sentries because I got first blood. I didn't buy before dying, which was the unfortunate thing, but I got really rich, so I bought sentries because I assumed that they blocked this camp, considering they had 3 people right here. And in reality, they don't even have wards, do they? Visage bought wards. Where's a red? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. How did I not see this? I'm dumb. This ward is actually, that makes a lot of sense. So I tried to deward up here, right? I could have placed a ward here to try and deward there, but I don't think it would reach here. I think no matter what, my choices were try to deward this spot or this spot, and that's it. So this lane blows. We're just kind of sitting around letting PA get the majority of the XP. Visage getting an invis. Okay, so he warded there as well. So they spent both their wards down here, which is fine. But yeah, Visage doesn't have Soul Assumption yet, so we could have been playing a lot more aggressively, but the issue is there's still an Undying there, so it would have been rough. So far, farming is pretty much what I could expect, except for the fact that Centaur has 3 last hits. Centaur is playing a scared game of Dota for some reason. Like, there's no reason for him to be playing this scared against Mirana. 1v1. He should be fine. Oh yeah, so there was a Visage. We knew he was invis, we didn't know where he was, so we were like, okay, play a little safe. And then I come up, I think, to just be a little aggressive on Undying. My intentions was to just be aggressively positioned, and then Visage just pops out with an auto attack. Could have grave chilled, but nah, auto attack. Yeah, this Centaur is just playing way too scared. There's no reason he should be scared at all. He should be getting this amount of XP probably versus a tri-lane with this starting build. Like, you don't go stout armor and then play defensively. That doesn't work. Pugna could have killed him with a blast. Maybe not kill, but 250. No, it wouldn't have killed, but it would have hurt him a lot. I don't know why he didn't go for it. Get sapped. So Razor finishes his phase boot really fast, which is not good for us. As you can see, Razor actually has a bunch of CS, while PA is actually doing alright. She has 10, almost. Also, Razor was involved with at least 1 kill, so they're going on PA. I cast the thing to try to get him away, and then we're like, retreat, but then there's a zombie house, so hit it. So zombie house is like scary now. It's like really scary. Now that killing the zombies doesn't give you anything. It just literally gives you nothing aside from gets the zombies off you. The fortunate thing is that we first picked Dazzle, right? And Shadow Wave, since it does physical damage, will insta-gib zombies. And then Centaur, Return, also does physical damage to things that attack you. So Return also instantly kills the zombies. So we have a bunch to deal with the zombies. And then PA obviously has Blur, so she can just dodge them. So we have a lot of stuff to counter the zombies. So they're not that big of a deal, this game. However, Razor is still insanely strong against all of us. He's scary. The plus armor that I give though is pretty nice as well. So Pugna came down for a gank, which was weird because it's Pugna. So they saw him, and that's when they start backing out to try and battle him. He dropped the Nether Ward, which actually just like destroys them. And then I keep him alive. I didn't actually think. Sorry about the dogs. I didn't think that it would work out that well. Apparently they went way too aggressive here. I'm not sure why they were like tower diving. There's no reason to. And I came back to try to help him out a bit. And then he's just lifesteal arenaing. And then Pugna goes way too deep and just dies. He gets clipped by the Razor on the way back. Yeah, sorry for the dogs. They just, you know, they hear things and they're like, let me bark at it. So Undying actually doesn't have a lot. Ooh, he didn't even go to point in Soul Rip here. Okay, he went straight for the Decay. That's actually okay. I'm not the biggest fan of just like hardcore getting Decay. In a tri-lane it's probably the best it'll ever be. But it's still fairly weak in my opinion. Like 1 point Soul Rip's really strong. 125 hit point swing in early game is significant, right? Because that's essentially a full wand, if you think about it that way. Or a full magic stick, sorry. Full magic stick is 150, so it's just one less. That's it. So I think it's fairly strong. So Pugna should have been killing this a lot more. Like he should Nether Blast this right now. Even though he's not 7, he's almost 7, so he's like kind of losing value out of his mana. He should have Nether Blasted it, because it does half damage to structures, so it would have done 125. This would be at 800 and well, high 800 hit points. Fake Rubik. Uh-oh. He stole the crap. You're done for, son. And then Rubik just, you know, turns around. Rasta's going in. They have the Centaur ultimate. And yeah, he just dies to another blast. So farm-wise, Razor's getting a lot. Pugna's getting okay amount. Mirana's getting way too much. Compared to Centaur. Centaur should really just be attacking creeps. I don't know why he's not. Like, he's doing so... I don't know. Like, look at that. She just hit him, and she took more damage. And he has tranquils. Look at this. She's dying. Kill her. Oh my god, if he just walked at her. I don't know. He's playing super defensive as a Centaur. So here we know that they're over here. Also, they used a lot of weird smokes, if I recall correctly. It might have also been a different game. I think it was this game. I don't remember what game it was, but there was a game where people were just like throwing smokes out. So here comes Razor. They pick up the Rasta. I shallow grave him because I see that there's a Rubik who's going to Fade Bolt. He should have cast a spell here. He was going to die no matter what he did. He should have just cast a spell. Centaur and Pugna are here though, and we should be able to pick up pretty much everything. But there is still a zombie house and it's still destroying us. If the Centaur actually kept running a bit, he could have turned around and double-edged when the guy got in range, the Visage got in range for Soul Assumption. Why do people not level like when they're panicking? I don't know. Like, sure, there's the downside that happens a lot, right? Where you're like, you know, you hit the level up button, and then you want to cast a spell that you can't level up, right? But like, I don't know. He had plenty of time to think about it. I think that's the thing a lot of Dota players need to work on, is just being able to level up an ability, like, you know, when you're in distress. Because it can sometimes mean the difference, especially if the ability that you're going to level up is going to be cast, right? So I think that's the thing I see like nobody does. Everybody just like doesn't. They make sure to not hit the level up button to avoid that awkward situation. But I don't know. So Unstable Current is pretty good, as is a maxed Plasma Field. So Razor's 7, and we're all 5. So they're getting a lot of XP out of us. He bought a lot of clarities here. I didn't realize. I thought he bought those later. But basically, yeah, this guy's just being dumb. Like, I don't know why he's over here. When we had 3 here on like no hit points, the 2 of us kept running back, and then he like ran over here and just died. There's no reason for him to stay by the tower. Absolutely none. Ooh, Rubik stole Nether Blast. That's not good. Oh yeah, actually Pugna communicated that to us. So here we're just gonna go in. We're gonna kill that guy, and then I'm starting to hit the zombie house because this thing is fucking strong, dude. The Babu Soul Assumption. The 20 damage. God. Such a weird ability.
That's not gonna hold.
As you can see, the farm is just escalating in this fashion, where Mirana is getting way too much, Razor's getting a lot, and Pugna is still getting more than Rubik, but not more than the other carries. So that was actually a really good Nether Blast, but he might pay. He's fine. I don't know why he decreps himself like that. He is not the best at decrepifying. That's definitely what I've noticed. But that's okay. We forced Razor to back. I don't think we even noticed. I definitely say that we should push like right now. You know, he still has clarities. Gotta get the deny, bud.
Radiant's top tower
This guy's way too scared. Don't know why. I have no idea why. He's getting less than the Rubik. He's getting less than RPA. And RPA is being contested nonstop. Like, he outclicks the Mirana for a lot of the early levels. And even right now, does he outclick her? Well, not that she has phase boots, but if she didn't have phase, he'd still be, like, clicking harder. Or at least equivalent. So, he's just playing way too scared this game. He could have actually had, like, a blink done. Right now. He ults. Why did he ult?
Radiant's middle tower is under
I
attack.
don't remember why he
Not
ulted.
gonna hold.
Doesn't look like there was a real reason. I think he thought we were in danger because he saw a bird on the map.
Radiant's middle tower is
By the way,
under
these
attack.
birds also get wrecked by Dazzle. The enemy team did not draft too well against us, against our team. Dazzle alone is like a pretty tough hard counter to a lot of their heroes. If not hard counter, he's very strong against them. How about Rasta should be running the fuck away. And then he dies. Rasta's been not the best at positioning this game.
Middle tower is under attack. It has no arms to defend
His
itself.
3 deaths, yeah. He's got 3 deaths without doing too much with any of the deaths. Like, any of the times that he's died, he hasn't done too much. So here I'm like, okay, group up. Because Shadow Wave will do, you know, 120 damage
Under attack.
per one of us.
Feel sad for them.
So we kill one bird and the other has, like, no hit points. So Visage will have to resummon, but he's got to wait for 75 more seconds. Yeah, the bird comes back and PA finishes off. That's right. He gives us a lot of birds unnecessarily. He's just TPing top. So I'm interested in some other stuff like this. Wow. Okay, we're winning really hard on XP. How does Rubik have so little? What the hell? He's like been in mid lane every time Pugnas come to gank. He shouldn't have that low of XP per minute. That's bizarre. No. Where's
Structures are fortified.
where's
That's what
GPM,
that
dude?
wispy glow around the tower means.
There it is. You. Okay. Yeah. So we've basically got no gold at all. It's it's rough. It's definitely rough. Let's look at some graphs, I guess. What are the buttons? Yeah. So XP, actually we pulled it back. Okay, sorry. Yeah, this is just getting picked off. Whoops. Whoops! I flubbed. Oh, that's right. Gold is first. So gold, yeah, we're super far behind in gold. XP, we are behind, but we actually pulled it back a lot, I guess, with that last battle that happened. Not the Visage here, but when we fought here. And we killed like 4 things? Because yeah, we're winning on kills now.
Bottom tower is under attack. Run, little bottom tower.
Really good double stomp. He got decrept though, I think. Was he decrept? It looked like it. So he actually killed him. Well, took a lot of damage from it. So we're like, okay, get out. There's a rock.
It was a valley.
I barely survived on the way up, but everybody ends up being alright. Don't lose anybody. Kill Razor, kill a building. I just try to heal people up as much as possible. So I just want to take a moment to talk about Dazzle's skill builds and stuff like that. So Dazzle is one of the hardest heroes to skill in Dota, in my opinion. All of his spells are super strong. Maxing Poison Touch is not very good, but it still can be okay in some situations. So that's why I say it's so hard. And then Pugna gets picked off in the jungle. We did have vision of them. What happened to Centaur? He just died to Mirana. Alright. He got arrowed and double starstormed. But, the thing that makes Dazzle hard to skill is because all of his spells are super strong. If you have a max Shallow Grave, you have a 15-second cooldown on a 1000 range, 5-second turn the guy invincible, right? That's really good. If you max Shadow Wave, you have a 6-second cooldown,
Tower is under attack.
AoE physical damage as well as heal on your team. That also hits 6 targets. And if you max Poison Touch, it's just really strong. There's not much more to say about Poison Touch, unfortunately. But what it does equate to is you get 7 seconds of damage tick of physical damage. And max level is 32 damage per tick. So you end up getting, bad at math, you get over 210 I guess you get 224, right? Is that right? That sounds right. 224 physical damage, which is important because magic resist is one quarter, you know, for all heroes. Minus Visage has less, and Meepo has more. Everybody else has just base 25%, but then armor is dependent on the hero. Like this guy, he's only got 14%, right? This guy's got 17%, etc. Like some people will have more, but physical damage in early to mid game is generally stronger than magic damage, assuming they're in equal numbers. This is a really bad fight for us. They drop the tombstone, we kind of ignore it. Nobody on our team has died yet, we just killed Undying. I shall grave the Rasta, and then PA just dives way too deep and gets picked off. And this guy dies to the last soul assumption. He gets decrept as well. Wouldn't have mattered if he wasn't decrept, he would have died anyway. And only me and Pugna live. And Pugna just like stays super aggro for some reason. He's still decrept. Like look, Pugna just like stays out there and I'm like, okay, we're gonna die. And I wanted to try and save him, but I soaked an arrow and just died in the end. Pugna goes in for the kill. He should have gone on the Rubik, in my opinion. Sure, the Mirana might be a higher priority target, but the fact is she had leap. Like she didn't use leap at any point, and we knew that. If you paid attention, you knew it. So she could always just leap away. And if she was actually smarter, she would have turned north here and leapt that way, instead of leaping this way. So we still had vision of her. Her leap actually got her closer to being dead than if she played well, if that makes sense. She played that incredibly poor. So let's look at some graphs again. So gold, we actually started picking up a little bit, but then now it's back down to what it was, and XP just fucking plummeted like a rock. We did pull it back a little bit. So the reason I think these graphs are important is because of how this game progresses later on. But PA, you know, trying to farm up items, trying to get a BKB pretty much. She has a Helm of the Dominator, and she shares control so we can stack. Issue is, issue is they have a ward, and then they have these birds. So right now, we should have been going to stack, but if we did, actually, this thing died. Does it die anyway? I don't remember. Yeah, I think it dies to one last auto. Yeah. Birds are slightly faster than centaurs. So, about the Dazzle skill build thing, now that I talked over the points, right? So Poison Touch obviously does more than just the damage. Physical damage is really good though, but it also is a very strong slow and even stuns once you get it to max rank. So it's really strong. I think level 2 is pretty much peak efficiency in most games. So we saw the Mirana ulti, so we're like, okay, back away. I'm saying hug this, right? Hug our sentry ward. And Pugna like stands over here and just dies. But he doesn't end up dying. Centaur gets a really good stomp, rushes us all in, but we don't have vision because Mirana ultied, and our sentry's up here, so we couldn't see the guys over here. Shallow grave. Dust goes out. PA is almost in the fight. Rasta goes down in the end. PA does not actually do anything. So we just lose one for that. There, yeah, it is these guys. They just smoke. Like, they're just like, you smoke! So here, Rubik goes super aggro. Centaur gets a nice 2-man stomp. Trying to make sure we stay alive with the Shadow Wave. He ends up barely dying to that Soul Assumption. It was just enough. This fight keeps going for some reason. I don't know why. Pugna does more shit. PA jumps to the Mirana after the guy gets decrept. I got a nice weave on a bunch. PA, she lives. And then we get the Undying. So all in all, that fight was a 2-for-1. That's what it ended up being. What a fucking game, dude. Alright, so I'm gonna look at items because I'm awful at clicking more heroes in most situations. So if you want to see the item progression, this is it. So I didn't know Rubik, like we figured this out, but like he apparently blinked in here and warded there just to piss us off or something. So shit's about to go down again. So like it's in here, it's over here maybe. No, it's here. So we realize it's over here. Rubik attacks me and I see him. He lift Arenes. Everybody jumps in, kills themselves on the nether ward because we're geniuses. Centaur tanks an arrow, and then everybody just runs away. So again, 2 for 1. All these are benefiting the opponent. And the thing is, we don't really have a late game compared to them, right? Razor plus Mirana is a way better late game than us, right? All we really have is, like, well, we have Pugna is the issue, right? So, pro teams pick Pugna. When they pick Pugna, it's because they want to win early, and Pugna is probably one of the best heroes that allows you to win early. Just because he kills towers. When you commit to a tower early and they can't TP 3, 4, 5 heroes, you just kill it. Like, the tower dies. So you can use that to get a huge gold advantage in the early game and then snowball that as the game goes on. But yeah, Undying was placing a ward up there. There's an arrow. Nobody gets hit. Centaur gets a really good stomp. And I put the medallion on her. So I went medallion this game because I'm not going to get enough gold really for mech, even though mech is a pretty easy build up. Also, Pugna died over here to Rubik Razor plus birds. Then we see them coming, so we're like, get the fuck out. And then they stop chasing, but Centaur goes in, misses a stomp. I still weave everything, and then I run into the arrow because I'm a genius. It was hard to see, in fairness. There were some lights flashing from the Razor. Also, it was like kind of over fog. I don't know, it was tough to see. You know, I don't fault myself for missing the arrow. Or, I guess, catching it. The opposite of missing it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But, what was I on about, man? Oh yeah, medallion. So even though mech is a very easy build-up, the issue is you still need to get the recipe part, which is like super hard to get in a game like this. Not to mention, I don't really have the mana to sustain it. My mana pool is 1,000, which is fine. Like, I can use mech. The issue is, if I use mech, though, like, let me just fucking. So if I do use mech, right, it's 150 mana. That's one less Shadow Wave I'm getting off, or you know, I'm gonna not have enough mana for Shallow Grave or Weave or what have you, right? In a team fight, in order to do as much as I can, and Dazzle does a lot in team fights, I want to be casting Shadow Wave as many times as possible, every time it's off cooldown, as well as using Weave, at the start, as well as using Shallow Grave when it's relevant, as well as using Poison Touch. So, the biggest issue, oh yeah, and then we knew they were doing it. Okay, so this pissed me off. We have a Centaur, we have a Pugna, we have a Rasta, we have a PA, and we just stand here. Like, we knew what was happening, and nobody went in for a while. Fortunately, the entire enemy team is just killing themselves on Nether Ward, but there still is the zombie house. Rasta goes down, as well as Mirana. Aegis gets popped, and we're still kind of fighting over here. All of us go over here except Centaur. Centaur then goes back in. Double Edges gets a really awful angle, because, not the greatest player. It's okay. Tries to TP out. TP gets cancelled by birds. He ends up dying, I think. Yeah. So over here, we saw Rubik, like, miles away. I didn't realize he got an into his rune, actually. I thought that it was just Mirana ulti, and I'm like, oh, okay, so he's gone. He's just gone. Because I saw him fading with the thing over his head. But Pugna gets caught, pretty much. There's dagger, lift into arrow, and he dies. And there was even another blast. So Pugna just kind of out of position when we knew Rubik was probably over here. We were even pinging saying, somebody's over here. But he walked the worst possible direction no matter what the guy was doing. So, XP still destroying us. Gold is ridiculous. They're 10,000 ahead right now. Which is, that's kind of fucked up. Shadow Shaman catches an arrow. I was going to try and Shallow Grave him at the last second, but there was just too much damage, and I didn't expect him to die that fast. I wanted to use it like you use like an early game magic wand, if that makes sense. Where they throw their spells and then they're like, he's dead to that, and then you save them. So I wanted to wait as long as possible. That's generally what you want to do with Shallow Grave. Of course, there's potential issues when, when they just die too fast, when you miss your opportunity.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Run, little bottom tower, run.
So, yeah, look at this. We are getting stomped. This game's kind of out of control right now, against us. But, what What's Miranda even saving for, dude? I don't know. Yeah, look at this. They have the top 4 XP per minute people, and the top 3 gold per minute. I don't know. This is crazy. Oh shit. No, it's that. I accidentally hit F3. My bad. Still learning all the hotkeys though. As you can see, me and Ross are just fucking poor, dude. Yeah, the net worth is pretty telling of how this game has gone so far. And then Pugden does that thing where he gets caught out again, and I come to try and save him. Razor, unfortunately, is Razor, has max unstable current, phase boots, and SNY, so he's 510 move speed with the phase. Yeah, if he went for the immediate stomp instead of the double edge first, I think then our Pugna lives. There's no saving anybody in this fight, you know. Razor's just way too strong. I get lifted. I end up living. Yeah, I do. Rubik ends up blinging. Like, he stopped the cast on double edge and on the stomp after it, but he like doesn't cancel it sometimes. I don't know. So now they're grouping up. This is like, you know, final push. We're doomed. We lost, guys. We fucking lost. Oh my god, we lost. That's pretty much what's happening right now. PA has 8k net worth, which is pretty pitiful, but, you know. So yeah, I'm going for headdress. Because I'm like, okay, now that I'm getting some amount of gold, you know, we're not straight losing team fights. So we're like, go on Razor, go. Mirana ulti, we don't have detection. I should have got detection a long time ago, but I didn't, because I'm awful. What the fuck is going on here? When did this happen? What the hell? Oh, you son of a bitch! That, okay, props. I give this guy some fucking props, dude. Trying to make sure I don't miss the action. But like, holy shit, props. And he's just getting out of there. Huh. Wait, can he just... Oh my god. Alright, my mind just got blown and I'll talk about that in a sec. So Razor's just diving in hardcore. He's going on the Pugna. And then we're trying to stop him. I almost die. Like, very close to death. He steals the Serpent Wards. Everybody's just dying, but nobody's fully died. Now, 1 for 1. PA, get out of there. Okay. 1 for 2. Advantage us. Razor's also almost dead. This is Rubik. Okay, so I'll just talk about that. First off, we just held our tier 3. Rubik even stole the Serpent Wards, and we held, only losing 1 hero. And now I almost have my Buckler, which means we're actually going to possibly have a mech. But, okay, so what I was saying. You know how, like, you know, sometimes you'll end up being here if you're dire. You'll just end up being outside of their fountain, just casually. If you have a bottle, right, and you're here, move to stash, put on courier, put back in your stash, pick it up, so you could refill your bottle here. Right? You can refill your bottle at the enemy fountain, even though walking into it won't refill it. Also, it would kill you probably. But you can refill it that way, assuming your courier's in your base, right? Just think about it. Yeah, it's crazy. So, we see Centaur's going for a Blade Mail after his blink. Rasta doesn't have too much at all to his name. Just, you know, trying to afford fucking shoes, man. PA, I think we said that we need buyback on her, so she doesn't go for anything else for now. And Pugna has his Ags, and I guess is going Refresher. No, Lincoln's. That's right, he goes Lincoln's. Yeah, Lincoln's is pretty good this game. Only downside is if Rubik gets Ags, it doesn't actually do anything. Does Link go through Lincoln's? I remember Link does weird shit. I know it goes through, like, everything else, so it probably goes through Lincoln's. I think it does. Not sure, though. So, I guess it literally only blocks, like, Lift Fade. It blocks Rubik spells and Visage spells, right? Which, you know, they're good to block. It's not crazy. I did the good old make sure that creep doesn't get last hit. Fuck him up. Enemy team is just gathered over here. We're like, okay. Just fight high ground, team. We can do this. Right before this battle breaks out, let's see. 12k behind on gold. 15k behind on experience. That's fucked up. We're just dead. Absolutely behind. See the arrow. Everybody splits. Rubik just blinks in to drop Serpent Wards, and we're like, okay, kill him then. I don't know why he wasted the cooldown. He could have waited for the creep wave to get here, and like it would have had an impact. Centaur ultis gets us out of there a little bit. PA's just hitting away in the fight. Kill the Undying, kill him! Ugh, he lives. PA almost dies. Doesn't though. Rana dies over here. Shit's going crazy. The building is on fire! We see Undying for a moment. We kill Rubik, and then we just fucking team wipe them for PA. I'm gonna take a step back so we can watch the other parts of the fight, because right there, obviously, we saw the PA, which is great and all, but okay, let's keep backing up. I just want to show like the full fight, right? I do, I really do, because this fight's bonkers. There's the blink in. We start cleaning up the wards, and then we have a pretty solid grouping. I'm just hitting the wards. This is Rasta, because we'll lose if we fight these. And then over here. Razor dives super deep. I shallow grab myself with the lethal soul assumption coming in. And then Pugna's just fucking sucking away. Gets sucked. And then there's a ward trap on the Visage. And then here's the double edge that kills the Razor. And then the Rubik dies to tower shots, and then Undying is left. And that was the fight. That was the turning point, right? That's when we were like, holy shit team, we can win this. We didn't fucking lose. Dazzle! And now I have Max Grave too, and then I'm super close to mech, like, you know, 100 off mech, and we're like, get the tier 1! Let's do it, boys. Tier 1, boys. And now I have mech. So now, and then we're like, okay, tier 2, and if they didn't have fort, we could go high ground, or at least get damage on it, or even rotate to bottom. But then here's the issue, right? Here is the fort. So now we're like, okay, we can't get anything else. It's fine. We got 2 towers after a 5-man wipe. Let's back up. So I'm gonna wait until that fully registers, because the graphs take a while to, you know, update. So I'm waiting for the tier 2 to register. So I'm gonna wait like another 10 seconds or so. Not sure how often the graphs update, but. And then here's the Lincoln's done. Rasta's got a Necro book. This guy's got a Blade Mail. PA doesn't have much. It's fine. It's like a net worth. But as you can see, now Pugna's about to actually... He's about to take over the Razor, right? So we're getting there, man. And now both of our supports are above Undying. Dang. They smoked. Roche isn't up yet. Alright, let's look at some graphs. Gold! Boosh! Down by 12k, then suddenly only down by 6k. Halved our disadvantage. Boom! Down by 15k, now down by 7.5k. Halved our disadvantage, right? We won with the 12k, 15k gold experience disadvantage, and now we have a much lower disadvantage. So now, who knows, man? Why do they have... Why? This word was placed actually soon after this. Why? Why? How did I not see this one either? I don't know. But now we're like, okay, alright, let's not get cocky. Keep it under control. Fight in the base. Just push out lanes. Enemy team can't really push high ground, right? They don't really have a way. Oh, so I broke like every single thing. Can I like pause, unpause to fix it? Does that fix anything? Nah. So, replay bugs abound. Now Razor doesn't have a whip or any lightning. But yeah, now the enemy team is just pushing as hard as they can. Oops. Yeah, hero level. That's the one I wanted. he doesn't know how to cancel. I don't know. So now their 5
Radiant's top tower
is
has fallen.
behind
Not so radiant
our 4
anymore.
and 5. That's a huge factor. Especially because their 5 is undying, and he doesn't even have his pipe, right? And look at this. His 3-point soul rip, he doesn't even have past the 2 points decay that he had at 4. Right? That's a big deal for us. Like, he's fallen off really heavily. And that's the issue with Undying. You pick Undying to win lane and then snowball. But if you don't snowball, you kind of, like, he just falls off. He doesn't do anything. Soul Rip, good. Razor, however, is going for some tank ability. And then Rubik is building something else with a Staff of Wizardry. Rubik has a lot of, ways to reposition. But the issue is he doesn't have the hit points. So here we're like, okay, they're in Roche. So I'm going to go D-ward this, because we've had the sentry here for a while, as well as the obs. And they just placed an obs there before going to the Roche pit. So I was like, okay, this is my chance to D-ward. So took it. Now they only have 1 ward here, which is pretty bad, considering that all of their lanes are pushed into our base. This ward doesn't do anything. That ward didn't either, but yeah, as you can see, now we're actually starting to catch up on gold. And PA goes for... She's got 3,000 gold. I think it's a basher. Yeah. Oh, right, she's just saving buyback. Just making sure she has buyback. What's the buyback button? I. Got it. So, as you can see, we have 2 buybacks. They have none. So, that's really good. We also have Dazzle and Mech. They have a Mjolnir, though. I don't remember that actually existing. Here, I just wanted to pull off the tower just in case they were right there. Which they are, but they didn't go aggressive at all at the Pugna, who just, like, pulled off the tower. Razor, actual Lord of Lightning, trying to go in. We sent our ulti to try and disengage a little bit. Try to get our bearings. Centaur goes back in. We kill Undying immediately. Rasta also goes down. We see Centaur getting sheeped, almost gonna die. Pops his blade mail though, and the Razor just gets sucked off all the way. The sucky. I'm still alive somehow. There goes the Aegis on the Mirana. I shallow grave the PA. PA is gonna die if the bird hits her. The bird hits me. I save her life. And then we end up cleaning up all of them. Again, a 1 for 5 trade. And now, Pugna's above Razor. And now, we're catching up, man. Look at this shit. I'm richer than our Centaur, somehow. And now, there's no birds on the map for 80 seconds. 80 more seconds. That's gigantic. I'm just pushing out lanes as much as I can. So yeah, this is a game. Let's check graphs now. Okay. Apparently we lost a lot. Oh, right, Roshan. Yeah. So Roche happened, and then we picked it back up. So now we're 6k disadvantage. And now look at the XP. Look at that. We're coming back. And here's the best part, right? The absolute number, right, 5k, is a lot lower as the game goes on than it is, early game, if that makes sense. Absolute versus relative. So even though 5k XP is like still a huge disadvantage, when you look at the totals of 65k versus 69k, it's like whatever, right? It's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. So here I'm like, okay, sheep stick, because we need to just disable as much as possible. Pugna's like, what should I go next, sheep or fucking Shivas? And I'm like, okay, sheep. And then we smoke. And we're like, okay, chances are they're probably in their jungle. I initially say, let's go Visage, but then we're like, okay, no, let's go jungle. Razor's probably in jungle. If we can pick him off, we kind of win. So we walk into the jungle. We see Rubik on this ward. He 4-staffs, as well as blinks to get over here faster. And we're like, get Rubik, guys. So Pugna goes on the Visage while the rest of us just kill Rubik. And then Visage. I didn't have the spell. We ulti. Why did she stop chasing the Visage? It's weird. So Razor's up here. Almost kill a bird. Not quite. All 3 birds are alive, but they don't have hit points. They'll need to drop before even coming in. Apparently Undying is behind us. We drop wards. And just kind of go. Hit building. Objective gaming.
Dire's structures are fortified, just like me.
Pugna gets arrowed. I pop the mech. Get some Shadow Wave out there. Weave is still down, but we kill off 1. And it's Razor, too, so it's the most important one. And then we kill off Undying as well. She crit the dagger. And it killed him off. And then I just weave all of us, so we survive. And then here, I give him a Shallow Grave, which didn't actually matter, because his Lincoln's blocked the spell anyway. But, you know, I feel like I did a thing. So, and then all of the birds die, 5 are dead, and then that's it. We fucking won, guys. This game was really hard. And look at that shit. Look at that shit right there. And I'm like, guys, no. Alright, well. Hit buildings, though. Look at that, though. Gold bucket. You don't need items. And then look at this. The game ends with our two biggest cores having the 2 highest net worth in the game. Look at the last hits, man. We weren't even close on last hits.
Dire's ancient is under attack.
I mean, like, sure, Pugna, but Pugna and PA were, like, close, but doesn't even matter. So that was that game. That game was the hardest game of Dota I've ever played in my entire life. They didn't throw. We just won. Like, the team fights were super hectic, and we just won them. So, I think that's where Dazzle shines. Hectic team fights. He is probably the strongest support for just long team fights. But that's that. Thank you for watching, everybody. That was a super cool game to play. That was awesome looking back and seeing these fucking graphs, man. We actually did go back into the advantage with both gold and experience. So, anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. See you next time.